Ping hasn't released a driver since early 2019. We have the brand new 425, and they've got 3 different models of the heads, but we're super excited to test these out. I've already measured the MOI and where the center of gravity is, so let's get to how these are going to perform. First, the magic behind Ping is that they've greatly increased the MOI. For example, each one of these models have moved up about 200 or 300 points on our system. The Max version, the 425 Max, has an adjustable weight that has 26 grams of tungsten that you can slide around and change the location of the center of gravity, make it a little more draw bias or fade bias, or just try to keep it where it's very neutral, hopefully for the straightest shots. The amount of weight that's being used is substantially more than previous models, so you can move the center of gravity a touch more. And then the other 3 models that they have are interesting as well. The LST is the low spin technology. That'll be for someone who maybe has faster ball speeds but struggles with the amount of backspin that they put on a shot, or you just want to really have a low launching, low spinning driver. The MOI on that one has moved upwards towards 5,000, which makes it an extremely forgiving driver. Not as much as the 5600 from the Max, but still that is awesome for a driver that's touted to spin as little as possible. The SFT, the straight flight technology. This one is a little bit draw bias, but the MOI again is close to 5,000, and this should be a great driver for someone who's looking to possibly curve the ball a little bit more to the left or draw for the left or right-handed player, but also add a touch more backspin. So if you swing a touch slower, this may be a good one for you too. So let's bring Dave in. We're going to test some of the features and benefits of the drivers, including what's on the outside and some of what's on the inside. Dave.
Nick.
Dave, we're going to hit the new 425 stuff. You excited?
That's what I heard when I saw this on the video shoot request. I couldn't wait to get here.
I know you're the Ping loyalist, so this will be fun for you. You had the 410 Plus, right?
410 Plus is my current.
Before they had the Max. That's what this one really is meant to replace. 425. It's got a little, relative to yours, a little heavier adjustable weight in the back.
Yep.
The look is interesting. It's just black and gray, and maybe that's an off-white, but there's no color to it. Still the matte black finish on the head, which I think is the best look in my mind. And you kept the turbulators are essentially the same. This one is a lot more forgiving, though, I think, than your old head. And we're starting with the 425 Max for you, or is that an LST?
We got the LST.
Okay, so last year, if you want to find the video where we fit Dave for a driver last year, we can attach that, but you like the LST in the 410 the most. That's what you had the best performance.
Definitely fit into it the best. Last year I had to make a choice between waiting for the LST to come out and getting a new driver, and I opted for toys. So I took the driver, I got the Plus.
Here we are.
Can't wait to hit the LST.
Okay, so these are cool. They haven't had a new driver out in almost 2 years, which that used to be the norm. Now it's really the exception of the rule, with product life cycles being so short. So I respect Ping for that. And they're waiting until they have something newer and better. So we're going to hit all 3 of these drivers. I want to show the difference in the spin rate and the launch. I won't tell you too much about it till we hit.
Okay.
But some of the features in the driver itself is are the turbulators. They should help the club be more aerodynamic, so you can swing it a touch faster. Still has a forged titanium face. The advantage to that is that the face flexes faster and more, and then the golf ball deforms a little bit less, which is what you really want. The face to flex and the ball to almost stay the same, not to deform too much. That in theory would give you the fastest ball speed, so that's what they've done. Still has an adjustable hosel in there. Maybe we'll play around with those, but you've got that set as a 9-degree. That's the low spin tech.
Yep.
That's what you would have fit into the 410. And then just for consistency, we're going to keep that Tensai orange shaft into all 3 of these so that we can really compare apples to apples as close as we can.
Great.
Any objections?
Let's take it for a ride.
Okay, let's do it.
See what happens.
So smash these out there, and let's take a look at some of the data. Just do that every time. You'll be in the first cut, left-hand rough, but a pretty good drive. So that one, the MOI increased a couple hundred grams per centimeter squared on the x-axis, which is the heel to toe side. So it's a touch more forgiving than before. That one, you launched at 10 with 2777 of backspin and a touch too much curve. Was that a solid hit or a toe hit?
That was a little toe.
Yeah.
A little off.
All right, let's hit a couple more and we'll take a look at the rest. I think you can do better this time.
I'm going to try.
That was good, but.
Oh, it was hit well, but it's going left too.
Okay. Almost 300-yard carry.
Yeah.
Face was just more closed on that.
A little more close.
I don't know how much we talk about this really, Dave. Anyway, rip another one while we do it. I actually, well, I think it's important to hit some shots and just see what's happening. That's what most people are accustomed to in club reviews. This is like, in a way, the most useless part of a club review. To watch someone hit golf balls. That's why we measure all these clubs, so that we know where the center of gravity is and how forgiving they are and can compare apples to apples with each one. I still like Dave hitting them just to compare differences. So this one will spin less than these other two drivers we're going to hit, and that'll be a way for us to measure that. That was good. You want to throw out that second one, and let's just see what the average is?
I'd throw them all out with that last one.
Well, we can do that too, but let's start with just that second one. That one had a descent angle of 27. This one's 29, so it's still a little bit low, but I think the spin rates on both of those are good. You should do that though. Launch is 11. Pop quiz, do you remember kind of what we're looking for? You don't.
12 to 14?
It's close. 12, 13, somewhere in there would be good. 11's a touch low, and you'll see that on the descent angle. So this is the landing angle of the ball on the ground. It's coming in really hot, racing. So if you like to hit it low and roll a ton, that's cool, you can. But you're still missing out on some distance gains from that too. And then the backspin is creeping up close to the top, which is why the top end range of too much. But I think that's why you like that LST driver.
That's definitely why I like the LST. Yeah. I predict when we switch heads, that number's going to rise.
Well, we'll see about that, Dave. But other ways we can knock this down in a club fitting would be just I can lower the loft of the head. That would reduce the spin, but that's not going to help your descent angle.
Right.
The actual way I would try to do this is probably add some loft and give you an even stiffer shaft. So you still launch it high. Ball doesn't land at such an acute angle, but it'll help touch more with some distance. So that's what we could do. But now I want to try the different head.
Yeah, possibly I should take lessons too, but for today we're blaming the equipment.
As long as it's not with me. Take lessons with Zach or Brad or someone who wants to be here with you. Yeah, well, that's good. Tight shot of this one. Let's see what I'm going to do here. I'll trick the Dave. That's the loft of the head. Here's the hosel and how much loft we're actually going to take off of that. So we should get a very similar face angle. And this one is the SFT. I won't have a good way of hiding that from him. And I think he's listening anyway.
What?
Exactly. Okay, Dave. SFT.
Yep.
Straight face tech.
Oh, I thought it was super fun tech. Okay,
yeah,
straight face tech.
We can somebody call Paul Wood. Let's ask him to get in on the naming convention. Same shaft, only just a different head.
Okay.
Toe ball again, or was that pretty good?
Not bad. Yeah, it's pretty good.
All right, so that one is an interesting comparison, even just in that one shot. Your last LST shot was very straight. It had a little bit of a curve to it to the left. This one you claimed was really solid too, and check out the curve of this shot, how much more it's drawing.
Yep.
That's what this is made to do. It's made to have some more left.
Yeah, that was right about there.
Okay, that's awesome. Good hit. Let's hit one more.
Okay.
Backspin on that one climbed quite a bit too. Nice shot, Dave.
That was hit well.
Those are different. Let's see what we get on that one. So just have it down here. I moved it down a little too far. But on those two shots, your average launch was 12, and I kept the loft the same. We just made that a 9 degree, even though it's a 10-5 head.
Yep.
The angle the ball landed on the ground was 39, so you went from almost 29 to 39 just by changing not the shaft, just the head itself. And most of that's just coming from that dramatic increase in backspin. You went from 2,500 to 3,500, which almost puts you off this chart.
Yep.
So clearly not the driver for you. We could make this the driver for you. This would have to be the stiffest shaft that we have in here, the lowest lofted head that we could get. And then even then you might still spin it too much and land too obtuse of an angle.
I've tried. I will.
No, there's just the lesson in there is just how much you can alter these clubs to really, in a club fitting, to actually fit exactly what you need.
Yeah, it is amazing actually when you start
Yeah.
doing that stuff. And this is a great experiment because the shaft's not changing.
There honestly are not many clubs on this wall or that we have in any of these bags that you couldn't get to fit you pretty
Right.
well. Some are just easier to fit than others. Some are just a little better, even when you get the best fit you can. But that's why everybody really needs to go through a club fitting with someone who does it for a living, and they can help you tremendously. If you're a serious golfer and you don't get fit for your driver, just grab one of these off the rack. You're doing your game a massive disservice. Okay, 10-5 head, lowered a degree and a half, same tensite orange shaft. This one is the Max 425, and this is, I think, the most forgiving driver, the highest MOI so far that we've measured, which makes that super interesting to me.
Okay.
You want to hit it as straight as possible. Oh, that sounded hammered, Dave.
Redemption.
For your first shot with that driver, pretty good. And that's on a standard setting. You could certainly move the weight, weight in the back of the club more towards the toe. That would help take some of the curve away, but that was really nice. Let's do it again. I think you got one more in there. That one's gonna be pretty tough to beat though. Low on the face, maybe?
A
Is that pretty
skosh.
solid too.
Not too bad. A little low.
Okay.
But you can definitely tell the forgiveness in this. You can't feel it as much coming through the club head. So definite forgiveness on that one.
Okay. Let's do one more. I'm trying to get a couple of them that are really solid.
That was hit well.
That was a good one. Nice shot. I like that one for you too. Pushes, draws, doesn't cross the target. It's right center of the fairway. That's the way to hit a driver. Okay, I think we've got a good comparison here. So these are the three drivers you hit. I've got them crammed onto one screen.
Yep.
This was your LST, the lowest spin. So you launched that one at 158 for the ball speed, 160 and 159. So they're all really close.
Yep.
These last two shots you hit with that 425 Max are in this category, so those were really solid hits. But LST spun at 2396. The SFT, which I'd expect to spin the most, was 3400, and this one was 3000. Still too high, but you can see how they fit in them right in those windows that you would expect.
Yep.
So that's positive. Launch was 11, and the angle of descent on the first one was too acute. That went to too obtuse by moving from 29 to 35, and then this one got down into that 37 range, which anything between 35 and 38 with your driver is pretty good. Your launch is about right, and the spin is still a little high, so I think you could still do this shaft. That one's just a stiff shaft, but with your ball speed, you could crank that up to an X and reduce some of that backspin, have a really nice fit. Long story short, the LST and the SFT perform as they should, and that Max fits pretty much right in the middle for you. All three of these you could probably make work. That SFT is the least appropriate fit for you, and you can see that one too, even after just a couple shots, how there's a 10-yard difference in how far they're actually flying.
Yep.
So I think you've got a ton of morals in here to the story, and that is get fit, one, and two, all three of these heads do radically different things, so it's important to pick out the right one. Do not just go online or walk into a store and cross your fingers and grab one. You're hurting yourself more than you're helping, and you're end up wasting a bunch of money.
Yeah, you're playing roulette.
You are, and
point.
it's just going to end up in your garage with dust on it, like we've talked about so many times already. So it's worth the experience to get fit. Anyone who's serious about it should do it. Overall, though, I like all three of these drivers after just watching you hit them. That, for a fitter, to know how much you can radically change a ball flight with these three heads is a pretty awesome story. What do you think?
I love it.
Love it? Okay.
LST this year.
LST
I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Even if I got to wait.
you do it like that, then yes, we'll make sure that you get that one. So all these clubs are going to be available very soon at a local GOLFTEC near you. That's the place to get fit. Check them out there.